Hello.
I
Here we are. Cool.
fingers crossed.
Yes, let's hope for good internet coverage. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm hiding in the cellar now, so it's all good.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Is this where you have the best Wi-Fi connection in the cellar?
I really hope so.
Okay, great.
You never know.
Yeah, you
Cool.
never know. Um, Sasu, how are you today? What have you been doing so far?
I'm well, thank you. Came to work at 8 o'clock to cook some rice.
Mm-hmm.
Gone 30 kilos of rice yeah, by 12 o'clock. Washed and cooked and rolled about 30 kilos of rice in 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
You have to explain to us why you, a Finnish chef with a restaurant in Helsinki,
Hmm.
which has got one Michelin star and is called Ora.
Hmm.
Why are you doing rice? Why are you working with 30 kilos of rice right now? You used to
Yeah,
be doing Finnish, regional cuisine, contemporary, Nordic, Scandinavian cuisine, and now you're working with sushi rice, right?
this is very true. Yes. Things happened. Someone might say in the last week something happened, right?
Yeah.
So we had a we had a very brief moment where I took all of my staff onto a WhatsApp conversation 4 weeks ago, roughly 4 weeks ago, when stuff started hitting the fan with
Hmm.
COVID, and we had to think, well, what do we do? And we had a week full of dinner guests, 95 or so people in my restaurant is first of all 18 seats. So you can book 1.5 times, not even double per day. And we had 95 people coming in 4 days. And we
Hmm.
were already like, okay, let's order ingredients and go for it. And then we just realized, like, wait a minute, maybe because of the outbreak of the virus, maybe people don't want to come. What if people don't want to come for dinner? So we talked about this on the Monday. Then Tuesday came, and Tuesday, 12 o'clock, and I said to everyone, I have to order ingredients if we're going to cook dinners. And I said, I don't think anyone's coming for dinner. We had 95 booked. By Tuesday, 12 o'clock, 35 was left. So 60 canceled.
Yeah.
And by 2 o'clock, when we had already decided what we're going to do, the rest were canceled as well. So we had an empty week. And I said, instead of doing dinners, how about if we take a hobby of mine and make it reality? How about if we completely change into, let's say, not even a business idea, kind of just an idea to help people in this situation where you probably wouldn't. And I was kind of looking forward. Okay, maybe the restaurants will be closed at some point, so we need to be ready for this. We have to have a concept if we're going to change from a one-star, as you say, regional, Nordic, local dining restaurant with one 10-course menu and 4 in staff, 1 in the dining room and 3 in the kitchen. We need to completely change into an idea that can take some beating, some washing, some decisions from the government, you know. And I said, let's do sushi. And everyone said, what? Sushi? Why? Like, what? And I said, I know, it's just a hobby of mine and my daughter's hobby. She's 10, and we love to do maki rolls at home and just flavor them very differently. And I said, there's a potential there. We have so many things that we have fermented and preserved from our region for the winter anyway. So we could maybe take, I don't know, our wild garlic in a salt brine and maybe salt brine the fish in the garlic brine and then serve it in a maki roll. And everyone said, well, yeah, okay, we could. And the next 45 minutes after the decision went with the fishmongers who also import a lot of the Japanese goods, so nori seaweed and all of this, to be able to actually make this. And I said, I'm in trouble because I have to cook the rice in a pot on the stove. I don't have a rice cooker, apart from my own, which is like half a liter maybe. and that won't do. So they borrowed. I borrowed two 9-kilo rice cookers from them. First one, and then 2 days after I said one is not enough. Can I have the other one? And they said yes, of course. We have 6 of them, so as many as you need. And by those 2 days, we were completely changed from a fine dining restaurant where the dining room was pushed in to the corner with all the glasses and tables and everything. And we just started going crazy. Crazy.
But how did you teach your staff? I mean, you and your daughter know probably how to make sushi, but does your staff know? And how did you teach them?
No,
sushi?
no, actually, my staff, one of the two, she said she's maybe once or twice made maki rolls at home, just, you know, and the other one said, I've never done a single roll. And I said, okay. So we started practicing together. So right. I taught them what I knew, and then we started almost like any kind of product development. We just started from there. We made the first one and we tasted it and we went like, could be better. So then we just started product development as we went, already serving. So first with the rice, the first 1.5 weeks with the rice was chaos, just complete chaos, until I was smart enough to ask my friend who's been running a lot of sushi bars here in Finland. And I said, Sensei, I need your help. Can you please come over? And then we just learned how to wash the rice and cook it like he would.
I see.
And thank God to Kimmo, he really taught the rest that I didn't know how to teach the team. So now we're on full go. Like, so going through 100 to 150 kilos of rice per week.
How many portions do you sell per day? You sell it in boxes, right? Boxes 50?
We sell, 15 euros a box and 14 pieces in each. So typically, like today, we have 3 different maki rolls, 4 pieces of each, and then 1 nigiri, and we're doing the tamagoyaki, the Japanese omelette on rice with the string on. So 14 pieces, 15 euros. We sell average maybe 150 per day, maybe. So,
right.
But maximum we've done is 250 in one day.
That is a lot of sushi. Someone is just asking, because you're also a chef that cares a lot about sustainability. That has been implemented in your work, in your restaurant, since day one, probably. Someone is asking, what do you do with the leftovers? Are there leftovers, and what are you doing with them?
Well, it depends on which leftover. So if we have any cooked rice from today going on to tomorrow, we analyze tonight the starch level. How is it? If we will dry them, and then maybe deep fry them to puffed rice and put them inside the next rolls. Or if they're a little bit, when you cook rice in a big pot, like we're talking about a pot like this in a rice cooker, but it burns a little bit on the bottom if you do 5 kilos at once, which we try to do, because 30 kilos goes like that, you know. We take the burnt rice from the bottom, or the toasted, and we toast it until it's completely dry, and we grind it to flour and season rice with toasted rice, right?
Okay.
We're also going to start a project making our own rice wine vinegar from now, because we have a little bit of leftover rice apart from these things. And also the toasted rice in bigger numbers, if we have a really big day and we have a little bit too much of it left over for the drying or the making of the flour, what we do is we season it to go into a roll that's more meaty. So we use the lightly toasted rice in this case. Now, if it's the leftover of the fish, for example, that we use, or the vegetables, we're doing last week's cucumbers. When you take the ends off and maybe the insides, we fermented them, and we use the ferment juice to season this week's cucumbers.
I see.
For example.
Nice.
Or if it's the fish, we take the fish skin off, we dehydrate the skin, we puff it to crispy and put it inside the roll. Or even the scales of the fish, if we have time, if we have the possibility, we take the scales off separately, dry them and puff them. So deep frying. We do quite a lot of things. If we make a beautiful, I don't know, if we make a beautiful nigiri out of the best part of the fish, maybe the belly parts, we mince them and we make like a terrine out of minced fish. Or I made one of the traditional sort of street foods for Japan is called okonomiyaki. It's usually an omelette made with vegetables, but I took our leftover fish, minced it, and put it inside the pancake. And then the pancake, after it was fried, like thick, we glazed it with our own teriyaki sauce that we made, and then some fish chips, some of the smoked fish chips, the katsubushi, and we put it inside the maki roll. So basically, yeah, so trying to do like as much of our style of cooking anyway, like using local fish to the maximum, trying to get the fish in whole so we could toast the bones and make a stock in which we cook the fish, or yeah, a lot of things. A lot of things.
Brilliant.
Cool.
So we get some questions specifically about about what you are doing at the moment, working with rice sushi. Sandra is asking, do you tell the secret of rice cooking? Is there a secret? There
actually is a secret, and I am very, very glad to bring this forward. Thank you for that question. Oh, I do have to remember to say one thing, because I have been gifted with koji from Japan. Also, our leftover rice is being fermented with koji, so we can do miso pastes and soy sauces for the future with local ingredients. So that's one use for the rice that's left over. So the quality of the rice would be definitely number one. Definitely. It has to be beautiful, starchy. If you wash the rice many times with new water, so you take the water off, it's very milky white, and it becomes, it's never going to be clear. So forget the word clear. It doesn't exist, but it is much more clear at some point, maybe 6 or 7 washes. And when you look at the rice after it's been washed, it should still be whole grains. If it's broken grains, you don't have quality rice. So that's one big thing. Then next, with a rice cooker, I'm going to be a little bit of an asshole now, pardon my French on this one, but the big rice cookers we got to borrow now, they are massive in big production, but we can only do 5 kilos in a 9 kilo rice cooker because the quality is not the same after 5 kilos. So be careful with the rice cooker, first of all. Now, if it is a Japanese rice cooker, you can leave it and go to the shop. It'll do the job amazingly well. But in my experience, so the one I have at home is a miniature. It's like a little stereo, like super small, but amazing. It still makes better rice than the big ones. My small one. So, but if it's not Japanese, if it's a cheaper rice cooker, be really careful. It can make porridge out of great rice as well. But the thing that's most important is the washing, and then the ratio of water to the ratio of rice. Now, I didn't know this before, but I know it now. So with quality rice, if you have 1 kilo of rice, you need 1 kilo of water, or 1 liter of rice washed, 1 liter of water only, no more. And it sounds crazy because rice doubles in size, right? But that's the secret. And then before cooking, on top of the water, you put a piece of kombu seaweed. Close, you cook, and once it's cooked and it goes to keep warm, 5 to 10 minutes of rest, closed. Then you open, remove the kombu, and then you start getting it out of the pot, testing it, seasoning with the rice wine vinegar, with salt and sugar, and probably kombu seaweed usually in that case. So there is a definite secret, of course, on the rice, because the rice is the most important thing, right?
Okay, thank you so much. So we get a little sushi making DIY
tip. Yes,
from you as well. Thank you
for
for
sure.
that.
Yes, of course, of course, of course.
But what I really find interesting, two things you mentioned already. You asked your friend, a Japanese guy, I reckon, to help you.
He's actually a Finnish guy, but he has been, I think he said he's been 45 times to Japan because of the constant need to learn more about sushi and more about the quality of ingredients and stuff. He's well, kind of half Japanese, but really Finnish.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But
Sure.
you mentioned the community spirit, the fact that people in gastronomy are now helping each other. I don't know how this was before, but in Germany, in Berlin, you can see that a lot of gastronomers are all of a sudden working together, helping each other out. Is that the same in Helsinki?
Well, see, traditionally, we are the people who say, no, this is my recipe, I'll keep it, don't come close, right?
Yeah.
But in this situation, well, I'm a bit different on that note. Anyway, as a person, I'm very social. And so I'm quite connected, some might say, and all that. I make friends easily and I keep friendships. So that's one of my bigger things, what requires like knowledge that this is who I am. So I connect easily, but also I found within the last years, not just because of the virus and the situation, I found just during the last years maybe that the more I ask from others who know better than I do, the more I have the capacity to learn as well. So basically the Finnish version where you keep your guard up and you say, well, I don't know how to do that, but I'm not going to ask anyone for help or assistance, then you just don't learn anything, right? So it's not like I'm saying that I haven't learned anything all my life. Of course I have, but it's just more is more. And we found that during the last years here in town, the more restaurants work together, the more everyone wins. We share guests, we share knowledge, we share workers, people, recipes, and it's just win, 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 win. Yeah. And the more in this situation, anyone who knows better than you do about anything would be the best assistance. Yes, for sure.
I mean, this situation, this crisis, has been a steep learning curve for a lot of gastronomers. Like in a very short time, you have learned to make sushi on a bigger scale, for example. What else has this situation taught you about your trade, for example?
I don't know. Like it's just there's so many different sort of segments or sectors of learning, and there's so many things that have happened at the same time. I think it's going to take months after this to even go through in my mind what has happened. Because if you think of just our normal work day that we do in Ora restaurant, we come maybe 9 o'clock, we make coffee, we start stocks and sauces, and we open at 6 p.m., right? So we're actually prepping very easily and very sort of in a subtle way. We prep for 9 hours before people come in. And then we do dinner and then we go home. And whereas now we come at 8 in the morning to wash rice in panic, because before 12 o'clock today, we did 60 boxes, 60 of boxes for everyone else than normal guests from out the window. See, when we spoke yesterday, we were in normal service. So someone comes to the kitchen window and buys a box, right? One box of sushi, there you go. But we've never sold anything out to another shop to sell our product at. And now today we sold to 3 places, so 20 boxes to each place. A fish shop and a kind of a how should I say, like a smaller high quality food shop as well. And we're doing things with people. I don't know, it feels really odd. And as well, on the side of sushi, we're also doing dinners now, because the first 2 weeks was just about trying to manage. And I did, to be honest, I did think that we're going to sell only 45 boxes a day, which will be like, we're doing minus anyway. And we sold 150 and 200 boxes and 250 boxes. And I said, oh my goodness, that's so many boxes that we need more staff. So first of all, for myself to comprehend that the work days are completely different. I'm working 6-day weeks now, and we usually work 4-day weeks. So the family is like, what, who are you, and what are you doing here?
Right.
And then I'm here 6 days a week doing completely different things, right? Also, the amount of kind of Instagram marketing we're doing right now is more of taking pictures of the sushi and saying, hey, this is available tomorrow from 12 to 8. Like we sell sushi from 12 o'clock during the day until 8 p.m., right? So it's a really long service, and you're rolling all the time and cutting and talking to people and selling it out the windows. It's completely different than we do normally. Plus, we're double the amount of staff now. So double. We're 8. We're 8 people. So even just doing staff meal, we're like, wow, everything feels so weird, so odd, right? And we're in constant contact with each other and with people, but still there's like a bigger distance between everything. And it feels so weird to be in your restaurant where you only use the 9 square meter kitchen, you know, and the dining room is just packed in there. It looks like summer holiday meets a pop-up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. It's so weird. I don't know. I have no idea how to even start to explain the amount of everything that has happened and how it will affect maybe even tomorrow. I have no idea. Everything has just happened so fast.
Could this be like you have been really successful with this sushi that is a high-class sushi because you apply you use very good products, you apply your techniques as a Michelin star chef on these sushi rolls, and is this a business model for the future? Have you thought about that? Just close the restaurant and make it a sushi bar?
Please, oh my God. How many times have I heard this during 4 weeks? I don't know, 10 times a day, maybe? I don't know if it's enough, maybe 10 times a day. People saying you have to continue this. Like you can't stop after the virus is gone. Like you can go back to making normal dinners, but a sushi bar or a sushi place with stuff like this has to exist after this. Like it's such, and first of all, so the things I've heard the most during 4 weeks is, this is such a great idea. And I said, really? What do you mean great idea? It's just such a great idea. Okay, great. Second is, where is the sushi bar going to be after the virus is gone? And I said, what do you mean where? They say, yeah, it's going to have to continue. So have you already been looking out for the place where it's going to be? And I said, no. Like I haven't made any decisions yet. So I don't know. I can't promise anything, but what I can promise is that maybe I've also applied a little bit of pressure to the other sushi bars. Maybe. Because I mean, anyone can take that piece of cucumber and wrap it inside the seaweed and the rice. But maybe it was just, I don't know, maybe it was necessary for someone maybe weird enough, like myself, to completely go into an area that hasn't been scavenged at all. It's like all sushi bars are trying to do the same. If they're not Japanese people behind the sushi bar, they're maybe doing sushi buffet, which is a completely different thing than this, right? But even like have you ever had sushi with a red meated fish, like a trout or salmon inside the roll with red currants and locally foraged roses? this is what we're serving today.
Right. Amazing.
So, but who knew? Like I didn't. I had no idea you could do that before this, right? But now the more we're looking for, like, the more we're like things that it's so hard to explain. Oh my God, there's so many so many thoughts. But like things that I've only done when cooking in Japan is that if I use kombu seaweed somewhere, I'll dry it and fry it and maybe crunch it somewhere. And now when we do it in the same, it's like full cycle. You take the rice when it's still, you start washing it and you cook it, and then you maybe dry it and puff it and then use it in the next roll. It's, maybe it is. I'm not saying people are wrong at all, but I do need to think about this a little bit, because the amount of sushi bars in Helsinki is quite okay. We'll see what happens after this. You never know. There might be bankruptcies. There might be things going bad, right? But maybe there's room for a little innovative sushi bar.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. It sounds good. Is this financially, from a financial perspective, is this a good thing to do for you at the moment? Can it sustain your business at least a little bit?
To be honest, I haven't had the slightest thought of having to lay anyone off. On the contrary, actually, I've had to hire more people because of this. And now during the last 4 weeks, okay, yes, we have been successful, but I do have to say that the help from the press and the help from friends and the help from all people who have come for sushi, that people actually go home with the box and then they plate it on a real plate and they set the table, pour some wine, take a picture of this and tag me at their house. It's much bigger than just a box of sushi, right? So everything done within these 4 weeks, where the press and the media and everyone on Instagram who have been just, sort of spreading the word and all of this, we would not have been this successful without all of these people. So first of all, thank you for that. But second of all, how should I explain this? Oh my goodness. It's just financially, when you're only selling food and no alcohol, you're basically doing 50% of your chance for sales anyway, right? Because in most better restaurants, 50% of your sales is alcohol. And in my case, now we're selling only food and we're selling 15 euros per box instead of 94 euros a menu per person. So it's a complete different ballgame. Also, with the 15 euro box, we are providing soy sauce, we're providing wasabi and the ginger, the pickled ginger, sticks, packaging, paper bags. So it's much more than just food, right?
Sure.
So, but within all this, we've had to hire more people. We can't do this with only the 4 of us. The demand is so high, and we're not in the need of government assistance right now. We're not doing amazing, right? But we're going to be at least now. It looks like we're going to be able to sustain ourselves quite okay.
Okay, fantastic. Is this a moment of creativity for you as well? Not only a moment of like it's necessary to do something, otherwise we're all going bust, but is this a moment where you feel more creative than before?
I feel creative in a different way, yes. Different way. But some people might say, like, my choice of only using finished product anyway, because usually this is maybe the most important message. Now I have to use nori seaweed and rice, probably from Italy, like this one we're using right now is Italian rice, but sushi rice quality. I'm going to have to use wasabi from outside Finland. But when we go back to normal, I'm going to dump the use of all foreign goods like I usually do. So someone might say that in my world, choosing only to use products from Finland is very limiting. But I'm still doing the same, although I'm trying to limit myself now into a Finnish Japanese world. You know what I mean? So using Japanese soy sauce and rice wine vinegar, but then still using only local fish and local, you know. So it's a very different creativity moment right now, but also I do have to say that I'm a bit scared about going back to normal. We have no, we're talking about this every day. We're rolling sushi and making nigiris and all this up there, but up there means up there in the restaurant, because I'm in the cellar right now, so hiding in the cellar. So, but we're feeling a little bit intimidated with the situation right now, because we don't know when can we open. We don't know how can we open. Can we only take 5 guests or 10 guests a day? Because that we have heard that there are governments who have said that you can open restaurants, but you have to have a limited amount of people inside. So we have no idea about summer holidays. Will we be able to have summer holiday? We don't know how to transform from a sushi pop-up into a real restaurant. Like, and I've been in the business for more than 20 years, and I'm feeling a little bit scared about going back, because jumping here was super easy, right? You just line everything in the corner and start making sushi, and it goes well. Yes, great. And then you just make sushi and sell and blah blah blah, you know. And now, even if I'm doing preparations for the dinner box that we sell now, which has actually been really amazing as well. So the sushi for people to take home or go outside there in the beautiful weather, it's great. But when people need a good dinner, now I've been able to hook up with the guys on a website called The Platform.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that as well.
All right, cool. So, and people go online and they buy a package with an Ora 3-course menu with our bread and butter and my handmade prep in biodegradable boxes, and
to heat up at home.
Yeah, and one A4 like this with recipe.
Right.
Where it means put this and this in a pot, warm up and serve. Right? And for the main course, line everything on an oven tray, bake in the oven and serve with this sauce. And it really is that easy, right? And it's been so cool to be able to prep not just for yourself that you would warm up and serve for people, but you're actually prepping for people who serve themselves at home. And within all this, it's such a huge change for us with the sushi, and such a huge change with the dinner box, that we're actually feeling a little bit scared to go back to normal. We're you know, like it just feels so weird from this perspective.
But you know, maybe this kind of different gastronomy or different a different way of serving fine dining, so-called fine dining, is a part of the future. Because now we could talk about this new delivery, or it's not a delivery platform, it's a ordering platform that provides or makes it easier for you to prepare good dinners or good food to take at home. It makes it easier for you as a restaurateur, but also makes it easier for people, for diners, for guests to eat good food at home. Tell me a little bit about this project, The Platform it's called.
Well, see, a friend of mine, friends of mine here in Helsinki started this project, already talking about it. I think I remember like a year ago, they were saying that there has to be some kind of a change, because here in Finland, this is my perspective now. So I'm not a founder. I'm just maybe then the first restaurant outside these guys and their restaurants and their projects that is kind of a user of this platform. So the guys were talking about the fact that maybe dining will be changing in this sense that everyone has been sort of feeling pressure about having dinner parties at home. So everyone wants to go to restaurants, which is great, but everyone wants to go to restaurants on the same day at the same time. In Finland, we're very organized in Finland. We're like bureaucracy, boom, right? So Saturday night at 7 o'clock, everyone wants a table. And if they get a table 7:30, they go, no, it's too late. And you say, how about 6:30? They go, no, it's too early. So if everyone in Finland wants to eat in restaurants at 7 o'clock on Saturday, how about the other days? How about the other times? Like, how do you, there's not enough tourists anyway to take care of all the other times than 7 o'clock. So we've been joking for years and years. We've been joking about this, saying everyone wants to eat at the same time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people, if making dinner at home would be easier, they probably want to have people in their house. So how about making it easier? How about if you take your favorite restaurant and you go into the platform, the app is coming really soon. So you will, in the future, you go to the app and you say, Ora, okay, boom. And you press Ora and you say, I want to pick up dinner on Friday. So you select Friday and you select the menu, three course menu, and you pay. And then on Friday, you come and pick up the box. And it's a paper bag with all instructions. Everything is prepped to the dot.
Yeah.
And your guests come in and you warm up things in the pot and serve. And you go, so Ora is now in our house. Right?
Yeah, of course. It's super easy. But it's only pickup, right? It's not delivery,
yes.
Pickup only.
Yes.
And how do they make money? What is the business model of this platform?
The business model of the platform is super easy from my perspective as a restaurant. So Tuukka Koski behind this. Tuukka he's a former chef, professional photographer, and his partner Kimmo Syväri is a video maker. And from these perspectives, they actually have a film studio where they would do, let's say, my food photos and maybe a video for the restaurant at the same time. So they apply their services into the commission that comes out from what I make, which is 10%. So it's so easy. People order from there through the platform. We give them the bag, and then after the next week, you get 90% of all the money onto your account, and they keep 10 for organizing everything. They make the website, they make the links, anything. Like we wanted wine recommendations. So they made a page for our wine recommendations on the platform.
Super.
Because we asked. So it's meant for restaurants for work. It's meant for people for food, right? So it's not one of these things we need to make like a huge business out of this. The thing is that we need to get food for people.
Yeah, right. Okay. So it's part of the future.
Sure.
And it started in Finland, will be an international or is already an internationally available platform. No?
Well, actually, funny enough, just before this, I was talking to Kimi, who is one of the Kimi from Restaurant Inari here in Helsinki. He's one of the founders as well with Tuukka and Kimmo. And Kimi said that when people in certain towns get permission to start reopening after the restrictions, there will be also outside Helsinki and outside Finland restaurants joining the platform. So, but the thing is, of course, like the chance for Tuukka to waltz out to Berlin now to take food photos from your food is not possible right now, but in the future things will start going forward, right? Of course, so like it should. But I really do think, I just saw a comment here saying, oh, I actually know this person. Michelin star meal kits to prepare at home, brilliant concept for a post-pandemic world.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have this gut feeling that if us professionals could make home cooking easier, this could become a normal part of the future of dining. I don't know why. I just feel like it actually should be necessary as well. So that home cooking doesn't have to be like, because we've been talking about prices until now with sushi, if it's 15 euros a box, the dinner for 2 people from Ora is 84 euros for 2 people. So 42 euros per person, 3 courses, bread and butter. So it's also quite reasonable price because we order the ingredients, we source the quality, we do all the preparation, but it's you at home warming it up and serving it. So I feel that one of the things going forward from a restaurant is also pride. You know what I mean? Like when you're actually you're warming up a Michelin star restaurant's chef's sauce like this in a pot. It should feel a little bit different than if you made a shiitake, a mushroom broth or sauce at home, right?
Yeah, of course.
And it's about sharing. It's about I've had lovely posts from people when they take our dinner box home and they say, oh my God, it was so easy, it was so tasty, and I made it, but it tastes like you're cooking.
Okay.
And this is where I see the clue for the future, like the sushi, like you said, when is the sushi place going to be, you know, if I'm going to make one after this, if it really feels like there's no sushi like that, maybe it is necessary. So, you know, the connection between everything is just, but this is where we need the openness right now. The more we're closed right now, the less we see of possibilities for the future, right?
Yes. I think that is one of the most interesting momentums of this or outcomes of this crisis, that everything is open and everything is, nobody knows where the end or where the end is, and there's loads of possibilities. This could be the start of a new kind of convenience food, you know,
of course,
better kind of convenience, not that industrial crap that bad people are making money off. But we also talked when we talked yesterday about the shops that restaurants are opening where they sell all the amazing products.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I wish more chefs here would have done something like that.
They haven't? No?
Well, some have, yes, and I'm very proud of everyone around the world who's done at least anything within this, you know. I mean, we had a fair chat yesterday. we talked a fair bit about things, but to me personally, like you said, that there were less bakers or less bakeries open, and then chefs reacted and started a bakery, and it's so popular right now. Oh my God, that's the best news, right? It's like you, and I remember you saying that now there's a new bakery in town, and it's so popular. Like when else would you see something like this hitting the world like that big? Like it's amazing, right? To be able to harness this moment to positive instead of what would be so easy to just go you know. I'm not that kind of a person. I'm the kind of person going like, wait a minute, what can I do? How can I help? Like, and at the end of the day, it's me paying rent for this space. Even this cellar that we rent out, I need to get the rent money from somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't think long. I just reacted. I just did something, you know.
Yeah.
But like I told you yesterday, that sushi was just the first idea. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I thought, if sushi won't sell, or even after the first week, we sold so many boxes of sushi. Oh my God, we were like flabbergasted. We were overwhelmed. And we did a post on Instagram about this, said we're overwhelmed. We sold 8,000 pieces of sushi this week, you know? And we took a group picture and we were so overwhelmed. And we thought the next week it will not sell, but it did. And so we said, okay, it sold more the next week. So, mm-hmm. And now after 4 weeks and after more than 50,000 pieces of sushi sold in 4 weeks, in 4 days a week, we still have 3 additional concepts we can try after this if sushi starts to bore people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm that fast. Mm-hmm. I'm that fast. So, but I'm also the kind of guy who would never trust just one vision, just one, you know. I have to have like a second plan or an evolvement plan.
Yeah.
On things, because I just never stop, you know. And
to be honest, I think you're not the only chef and gastronomer, a restaurateur who thinks and acts like that, because I told you yesterday that we've seen so many ideas. We talked about kitchen quarantine briefly, and that's only one idea how you can inspire other people or do something. And chefs and restaurateurs are just very creative people, and they should be very aware of that. I'm sure they are, but other people maybe are getting more aware of this right now, of this fact.
I don't know, like it's always very hard to see why someone else has chosen differently than what you have chosen. Mm-hmm. So where so many people might say, but cooking is so hard now. You have to have vinyl gloves, and you have to have a mask, and everything is so hard. And, you know, I don't think the same way. I just don't go that route. Right? And so people who would take that route, it's harder for me to understand, because I'm the guy going, what do we have? What can we do? Let's go. Mm-hmm. I'm that kind of a guy. So, and all of us, we know what we're like. We're either that side or this side. But as said, and I really do mean it, everyone who's made any kind of an effort to make people's lives a little bit richer, or bring a little bit of sunshine, you know, mm-hmm. into people's days. Yeah. I don't discriminate. It doesn't matter if you've made flavored milk, or if you've made donuts or ice cream for people, or the katsu sandwiches that you were talking about yesterday. Oh my God, I want to go buy one. You know what I mean? Like it's, or it doesn't matter what you've done. The more important fact is that you have done something, that you have been maybe online once a day, teaching people how to do one thing in the kitchen better. It's always for the better, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So what we've been trying to do here is to help the easiness of people to just walk by, grab dinner, cook 3 courses at home with no pressure, right? Mm-hmm. Or grab a box of sushi and just go out to the seashore and just enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
So they're very different. like different principles and different ideas, but the fact that we're actually doing something, I think that's the more important thing.
Definitely, yes, definitely. Sasu, I hope I can come to Helsinki one day to try your sushi. I think that will be possible, and
yes,
that we can travel one day, and that we that your sushi place will be open then still.
We'll see. We'll see.
Thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you.
And yeah, hope to see you soon. Good luck with everything.
Will do. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye.